I'm at the East Hockey Club and I'm with Julie McNeil, who's the head of the Remote Indigenous Hockey Program.
The Remote and Indigenous Hockey Program established itself about 7 to 10 years ago. We initially went out to some of the more remote and disadvantaged communities to try and increase the awareness of the sport of hockey into these areas. It's now built. We are over 45 to 50 communities every year, over nearly 3,000 people, 3,000 young Indigenous people get to play hockey now, and we started the Rubies and the Blaze program just last year. We're very proud of that.
And the Rubies had a fantastic year last year.
The Rubies had an exceptional year. I don't think any one of us could really have anticipated what was achieved last year. The Rubies started off as a program, a role modelling and leadership program for young Indigenous women. It blossomed into an internationally recognised community sport program which uses hockey as the tool to progress social change in the Indigenous communities of Queensland. Fantastic program now. We piloted the program last year, so we kept it to the regions of North Queensland and it allowed us in terms of budgets and programming to try and keep a close eye on what we were trying to achieve. Rockhampton girls, Mackay girls and Cairns girls were involved last year, and we all got together, training camp in Cairns, and then hopped on the plane, went over to Singapore and stumbled our way through the first day and then got to the semi-finals where we ended up playing the Sri Lankan under-21 girls team and lost 3-2 in a really close game.
And the Rubies last year were then further nominated.
Yes, we were very excited when we received a nomination from the international Beyond Sport community. Beyond Sport is Tony Blair, the former Prime Minister of Great Britain's foundation. He initially started that. And it's to recognise teams that have a community support program behind it. So those teams that really do make a positive and good change for communities. And
I believe you're up against some of the major soccer teams from, they call it football in England.
They do.
And that must have been thrilling to be in the same sort of atmosphere and environment as those people.
It was thrilling on a number of accounts. So the conference brought together over 2,000 people working in community programs around the world. And we got to meet people, young women from Afghanistan working in community programs. We got to meet people from Africa and South America as well. We've got partners now across the world, you could say. And we also got to meet our competitors who were Tottenham Hotspurs, Queen's Park Rangers, the Boston Celtics basketball team, of which their nominee we couldn't even reach the sky, and the Memphis Grizzlies, who was the ultimate winner. And look, we think we do good work, but they built a school for disadvantaged kids over in Memphis, and we pretty much think that they were deserving winners of that prize.
And Julie, you talk about your community. You've got a rather large community.
Oh, we have. One thing I think that blew the Beyond Sport judges away was the fact that we deliver into an area of now nearly 1 million square kilometres across Queensland, which in reality about half of Queensland, but it's the remote half, and it's the half where there's 6 hours between pretty much every port of call. So we see some beautiful parts of the country. We get to meet some wonderful people. We learn culturally some very significant things about our country, and we get to impart the knowledge of having 3,000 kids playing hockey, 5 regional competitions now, from Horn Island in the Torres Strait to Weipa in the Cape, Normanton in the Gulf Savannah, just outside the Tablelands in far north Queensland, and Mount Isa in the northwest. So we're very proud of that effort.
And today you've come to the southeast corner of the state.
We have. In 2012 we've decided that we piloted the Rubies, and we piloted it in North Queensland, and we thought we got so much great positive feedback, especially from the boys saying we want to be part of this, how do we be part of this, that we decided to extend the girls out to the whole of Queensland and then introduce the new team called the Blaze, the RIHP Queensland Blaze, which again represents young, strong, fit Indigenous men who want to succeed in life, and these guys out on the park behind you and the girls are just wonderful role models for that.
And for some of these athletes, it'll be their first time outside of their own local community.
It's a development program, so we're looking at these as emerging athletes to get into the Queensland system in due course. But they need to experience things out of their comfort zone. They have to experience new coaches. They have to be aware of playing their best when they're not used to the circumstances, just like you have to do as you continue your development through Queensland and national programs. So we developed this, and that's why we've got them together now. We now drive up to the coast and pick up the Bundaberg member of our team and go to Rocky and train. And then the next time we'll all see them will be at Brisbane Airport on departure to Singapore.
Down for Singapore, well done.